So the plan here is, like I said, that's all smashed in, but what I'm going to do is just cut the little border around here and then go from there. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do down here because it dips down. I did look at it. I might be able to just make it run all the way through here and figure out something with this bracket. I don't have an entire plan. I can see there's spot welds right there, which I did look underneath, and that's the actual frame rail or subframe rail, I guess you can call it. So what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm gonna cut it like right to those so I can decide what I'm gonna do. Because I don't necessarily want my sheet metal that I'm gonna put over it. I don't want it to go under my battery box, but I don't want to butt up right to it, but I don't want to be too far. Like I don't know. I don't think I want to plug weld it to the rail, but that could be a good option. I don't know. I really don't. I'm just going to go like as minimal of a cut as I can. And over here, I'm not entirely worried because I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to cut it real shallow or real minimal for now. But I do want to make a hole like this for the individual feed and return fuel lines to go through, put a grommet, make it look nice. But I don't know if I want to come all the way out to here past this and make my own hole, or if I just want to go here and use this hole and just Dremel it out and do all that, but I would like them separated. I don't know. The other part is that this floor from factory has all these recesses in it. It doesn't stop till about out here, but I don't know if I want to go that far because that's a lot of cutting, welding, possible bondo, possible rivets. I don't know. That's a whole mess. A lot of this stuff just needs figured out. But I'm gonna get to cutting. All right, like I said, I'm gonna get to cutting now. You're gonna see the time lapse pop up like right about now. But
I know that you're drunk. Yeah, tell me what you want out of this love. You know you're not, know you're not. Go right at my house, you call the taxi. I'm picky with my women, I'm deciding. Call me to your payment, I'm sliding. I'm picky with my women, I'm deciding. Call me to your payment, I'm sliding. First things first, let me get that introduction. We all know long road to self-destruction. You were so in love, you weren't gonna tell me nothing. Let me get this clear, 'cause I had no idea.
new idea. Since there's these braces connecting from the frame rails, I'm thinking I might be able to take like square tubing or something, weld it / mount it to the rail somehow, run it all the way to the other rail straight, and then create a box going up this way, and then mount to the other rail and run that way. So it'd be like a square frame to the rails so I can trust it, and then make my fuel cell cage anywhere along that rail, drop down and make the whole cage. And then the whole floor will just cover it, but the floor won't actually be to the cage.
Since I've been gone, I've been out of space. I let little shawty come here and take your place. Keep my love, too excited, keep my love. You want a paper plane, I don't want it. Wonder why your girl always wonder why your girl, yeah.
It's all right. Looks great. Alright, so I haven't done an update in a while, but basically I've been working on the fuel cell while I wait for the tube front to show up. Due to COVID, he had some supply issues with the steel. No big deal, I can wait. I got plenty of stuff to do. This is the fuel cell. Basically, I have created this panel here that I just cut out after my failed first attempt with aluminum. It was too thin and the rivets didn't hold it together, and it kept oil canning right there, and back there was just too thin to hold anything. Anyways, it didn't work out. So I went and got some 18 gauge steel from Alro Steels here in Euclid, Ohio, and I've cut it out of the template from my old failure, and I have this beam I relocated and this beam right here, and then I have this beam and this beam which actually hold the fuel cell in with holes drilled through it for all the bolt holes. So basically the fuel cell just holds to that. Everything else is just in here. So I'm going to weld this in. You'll see some of that clip popping up in a couple seconds, and then after that I'm going to clean all of this and spray it with single stick black to make it look great.
You know, if I say something, I mean it. These things happen. Yeah.
If I ever said I'm never scared, just know I mean it. If I ever said I fuck your bitch, just know I mean it. And if I ever said I'm getting money, just know I mean it. And oh Lord knows, He knows I mean it. calls me, I screen it. I'm only fucking if it's convenient. You lie on pussy, that's weak shit. We pass pussy round, that's G shit. But you ain't fam, so what is this we shit? You cuff yours and then leave shit. Listen, I'm telling you, it's my world. I does what I wish to. If you're mad, well, too bad. Sounds like a personal issue. I walk in, they all stare like, who the fuck is this dude?
All right,
It's
all welded in. A little weld tour. This side looks like shit. Look at that one.
I just want to stay broke forever. Yeah, that's that shit no one ever said.
It's not bad. These aren't bad. Not bad. It's alright. Still learning. I didn't have a great ground. I just grounded it out there because I didn't like doing that or leaving it touching that. It didn't work out great, but it's in. It'll get ground down and then seam sealed, so you won't see much of it anyways. So before I go ahead and paint, as you can see, it's still a little rusty and chipped, and it looks all nasty all inside of here, back here, all the way over there. That's my battery box that's been welded in, shoot, probably a year ago by now. It's all seam sealed. I ran out of tape up there, so I'm just gonna have to turn the gun down and possibly use thinner to get it off the sound deadener. It'll all be covered, so I'm not gonna cry about it too loud, but I'd rather not have it all over it. Anyways, seam sealer's all scuffed. This has all been sanded. Everything, it's all been wiped down with 320 SX. I think 3M makes that product. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. It's a wax and grease remover. That's all I know. Yeah. So I've got my box fan running over here and over here. Don't mind the mess. Probably just gonna cut this part out. I picked up some Shopline single stage, just straight black, nothing crazy. Thought about going crazy, but then I'm like, it's a trunk pan. Hardener, I didn't grab reducer for it, but it should be all right. Again, trunk pan, and it's just single stage. It's already thick enough. It's all mixed, ready to go. All I gotta do is put it on the PPS gun. That's a 3M product, and spray it. So I'll be back with you guys right after I end up spraying that whole trunk. All right, so first coat's down. Doesn't look horrible. It's all right. All right, so the last video I made, we painted the rear trunk pan, floor, rear end. We painted all of that. I've also put in the battery and the battery tie down. That whole bracket was already in there. I might have already shown that. If not, I apologize. And then the fuel cell is in. It's entirely bolted in and everything. I put the striker back on. I forgot to cut the hole for the fuel line routing to go from the pickup through the floor so I can run it and follow the rail up to the front. But regardless, I cut that out with an air saw, some drill bits, hole saw, and then a die grinder with a carbide bit to round out the edges, even though it's kind of hard to tell that they are. It's not perfect. And then I picked up some of this. If you can see here, it has a lip on this side which squeezes around the metal, and then that inside there, that little circle tube, that is glue that holds it to the metal. I'm assuming it jams in there. I'm assuming it's not just sticky, but either way, it's held in there. I mean, I put it in a couple minutes ago, so it's not the greatest thing in the world, but by all means, it'll hold up and it'll prevent friction and rubbing of the fuel line on bare metal. But other than that, I believe the trunk is done for now. I have to get a fuel pump to go in there. Well, a fuel pump hanger, my bad. I have to get a fuel pump hanger. I have a fuel pump over there sitting in my boxes of crap. I got a Aeromotive 340 LPH pump. That's gonna go in here. I just have to buy the hanger, which surprisingly, they sell this as a complete kit, like a complete fuel cell, they say, but it doesn't include a pump hanger. I'm actually gonna have to pull one of those, whichever one it is. It is this one. This is the rollover vent, they call it. I'm gonna have to pull that out, and there's a check ball in there. I'm gonna take that out and see if I can just run my return straight through there and just, you know, just have it fall back in the tank. I guess at that point, I'm not sure what my vent would be. So that'll be something I'll have to think about or look into. I could run without a vent, but I don't think it's a great idea, so I'll just have to brainstorm and come back to all that. Alright, so it appears I didn't film anything regarding this for some ungodly reason. Anyways, this is my new RCI Industries, or RCI because race craft industries, yada yada. Anyways, this is my new RCI fuel pump hanger. It has a dash, I think it's a dash 8 AN feed, vent, return, or this is the vent and there's a vent, return, feed, I don't know. I'm assuming that one of these is a vent only because this has 2 holes in it, which I'm going to be running some wire through, so I guess that's where it should be. If not, I don't know. I did kind of mock it up, that's why I thought I filmed some of this, and I just had to film me actually putting it together and installing it, but here we are. I've zip tied my Quantum Industries or Quantum Fuel Systems, whatever they call themselves now. Quantum 340 LPH fuel pump. I've just had it zip tied on there by 3 because unfortunately there's no bracket. That's the one thing I don't care for about this, is there's no bracket to mount a actual fuel pump. I had to look at a photo and hope. Then I got some brand new fuel line for the what I'm using. Okay. For what I'm using as the return. I've dumped this because I need my strainer, a new strainer, and then the bracket. All I did was test fit this with taking this whole unit, dropping it in the tank off to the side or this way and seeing how close to the bottom it got. Because obviously you want it to pick up from more or less as low as you can get. Yeah, so all I did was do that, and then I tightened these bolts. It does have a flapper on it for the fuel filler hole cap. Anyways, what I was trying to explain was this hole must be the vent or the rollover valve because it has a check ball in there, which means this is probably technically the vent, but that's where my electrical is going to be ran now, which shouldn't be a huge problem, especially because it'll still vent. It just won't be the world's best vent. It's all right. Anyways, I'm gonna hook this wire in, which actually powers the fuel pump. I had to there we are. I put new terminals in there. Had a friend at work do that for me actually. And now I have probably 2 foot of wire instead of the 4 or 5 inches I had when I first got the wire. Anyways, let's pop this wire on so that we can move on to popping this whole hanger in. I mean, it's simple enough. All I'm really doing is just taking the connector and shoving it back in there. It's connected. Then I am going to find one of the holes. Pull it all the way through. And this one I labeled as negative, but obviously I'm gonna have to rip that tape off to pull it through the hole, which is fine. Doesn't mean it's not tedious. Find the other hole. Boom. Now what I'm going to do while I'm here, put some hose clamps on just to make sure everything's tight and secure. Even though those fittings will be fine, it never hurts to add them, especially when they give you them for free. Yep. Flip the unit over. And here, pull it off. I need one more. Which is nice because I keep all my spares. As long as they're good, I keep them, so. That should be good. This one's a little less quality. I actually might not use it. Might not be able to use it really. Yeah, this one's junk. This one is not. Maybe a longer screwdriver will help. Good. Slip this one on, slip the hose back on. Snug it up. Cool. Now this whole unit is ready to be installed, minus the strainer. The one that I had on here sat in an old fuel tank when I originally did the car, and now it's a little dirty, so for the $5, I'm just going to buy a brand new one. So unfortunately, I'll have to go grab that from the store and I'll come right back. Alright, so we're at work now. I just blew out the back of this after I painted the whole car, and what I'm going to do is obviously take that tape off. I went to AutoZone and picked up a CarQuest fuel systems, fuel strainer, whatever the fuck. And it came packaged as so. I believe this hole should fit. I matched it to the other one, so what I need to do now is figure out if I want to install this rubber plug or not. I believe I will, just because it's probably what's necessary. So pop that on as such. I'm gonna take this out of the bag and put that on. Alright, so I'll take this. It should just be a press fit with all those teeth in there. A little bit of a tight squeeze with one hand, but it pressed right on. And now it will be sitting in the car such as that, which I believe is fine. So now that my whole fuel pump assembly is all set up and ready to drop in, I'm gonna blow out. All right, now that I have everything situated and I remembered to grab all of my hardware, I can finally bolt this thing in for good, hopefully. So what I'm gonna do is take all of these mini nylon washers and just put one on each individual stud as best I can. And then I'm gonna be putting these nylon lock nuts in the same place on each stud as best I can. All right, now that I have it all set up, besides this one nut that I'll have to get on, I'm gonna take my fuel, my Milwaukee fuel ratchet, 3/8 with an adapter to an 11 millimeter, tighten all these nylon nuts down. I'm sorry for the camera shaking, it is what it is.